inside this base class I have to execute, our test cases. I want to execute on the different browsers, right? So we have to put down the condition, right? So here we have a Chrome driver, we have a Firefox driver, we have a IE browser. So some requirement is that just mute in your side. Who is this? Raj. Mute in your side. Okay. So what happened? Then we have a multiple browsers. So I have given the condition. How to read from this? We have a, I think you guys who doesn't know Selenium, just try to understand what I am telling. Okay, who knows Selenium, it is a very good example of this condition, right? I want to execute multiple, the test cases in the multiple browsers. So my requirement is I want to execute in the Chrome browsers. So I want to execute in the Firefox. I want to execute in the IE browsers. So one is here I am passing this parameter. Again, this is your Chrome. This is your IE, and one more you can take this as your IE browser. So we have a 3 condition. I will give you the example, simple example also. Just I am relating with Selenium. Okay, so where you will use this type of the thing. So now my requirement is I want to all the test cases I want to execute in the Chrome. Okay, so I have put it the condition if Chrome, I took one parameters variable dot equal to Chrome. That condition will, this condition is true. Okay, so only this block will execute. Okay, this 5 test cases I execute on Chrome. Okay, again I change these parameters inside this properties file. I have put it down the Firefox. The Firefox logic I have written here. Then this condition will execute Firefox only. Okay, so I will come on this. Core Python does not provide switch or case statements in the another language. We have a concept called switch and case. So in the Python we don't have any concept of switch and case. Okay, so we have a one simple example of this. We'll explore this. Okay, so you can see here I took one inputs. Input is a method. So by using this input method we are taking the input from the system, and by default this value is a string type. Okay, so that's why I have written this. Now you can see I have put it here condition. You can see this number NUM I have converted into the int type. Okay, you can do here also, and directly you can use this just for exploring the thing I have mentioned before. If you are not doing this casting, you are not using this int. So by default input function have a string type. I already discussed in the last session, I think. Okay, so now I have put it this condition, num greater than 0, number is positive. Again, num greater than less than 0, the number is negative. Else, if you both condition is not true, no result. Okay, so this is your condition. Now if I will go and compile this, execute this. So I am giving this a 1. So 1 is positive, right? NUM is positive, and this type I am showing you. Okay, before if you are not doing the casting in the type, so input function is already a string type. Okay, so now which condition is true? Positive number I have given, so this condition is true, so this block is executed, right? If I will use -1, which block will execute? Second block, elif. This elif will execute, right? So now it is negative number. When it will execute, the number is not a positive, not a negative. Again I am going to, so how, if you have a multiple condition, then we will use this if else condition. You can use number of elif condition, no problem, it depends upon the condition. If I will press 0, else block will execute, right? No result, 0. Okay, so we have another example also, not a big deal, it is a very simple. Okay, so we have another example like that. I am giving this, so you can create another example also. When you are doing the practice, one example I will understand, second example I will try to change this value, third example I will make myself. That's it. So again I took this name inputs and I take this age. Okay, so now I have put it down the condition if name equal to Mohit. Then if I will press this Mohit, then what happen? This block will execute. If I will press age, then this block will execute. If I will, if you will not give any value age and name, then else block will execute. Okay, so like that, this you can take multiple FS. So I will come and I will give you the example also. So I am putting a name. Okay, so actually here you can see one more thing. Interpreter is executing line by line. I have put it that I am going to take two inputs, right? So this is executed. I have given this value, again it will execute. So it will again asking my age. So when I will give this name age here, you can see after that which line will execute. This line will execute, right? Okay, and this two line won't be executed because the condition is true here, then this line will execute. Okay, so how this is executing? Okay, if you will give the if this condition is not true, what happened? This condition is not true, then this will execute. Okay, if you want to execute all, I want to execute Mohit also and age, name also and age also. How will you do this? We have you can use here one more if. If you will use multiple if statement, it will execute all the blocks. If your block is true or false, but it will execute. But here what happened? One is true, other block won't be executed. Okay, if it will be true, this won't be executed. Okay, this is how this else is working. Once again. Okay, so just going to explore this. So we have a concept called and an or operator also, right? So we had already discussed, so how to apply the code, just will see this. Again I am taking two inputs. You can see we have two inputs, A and B, and we have put it on the condition A greater than 0, B greater than 0, then A and B are positive number. So here I have used AND operator. Again I am going to use AND operator. So here in this code we have a F, we have a elif, and we have a else with AND operator. Okay, so now greater than positive equal to negative, but you can see what is the difference between AND operator means both conditions should be true. If one condition is false, this block won't be executed. Okay, that is called AND, the AND operator concept. So if I will compile this, so if you will give this positive number, asking this any number. Okay, I think I did not mention here in the print statement, because same you can see. So like enter number, any number of, just you can give this message, otherwise you will get confused, of B, that's it. Okay, so both condition will true. This condition is true, then this block is going to execute. Same thing whatever we had learned this, so we will not spend more time. So we have another multiple elif. So multiple elif, same. I told you now, if you have a n number of the condition, you can apply with n number of elif statement. Which condition will true, that will execute. That's it. So we have a grade, enter your marks. So again I am going to put this all this condition, right? So I have a multiple condition, so I have used 4 elif statement. I told you, like Chrome browser, Firefox browser, IE browser, Mac, Safari browser, Opera. So like you can make it your example, right? This browser you will take and take the inputs, take the value as a Chrome, Safari or Firefox, IE. So you can make it in your example also. Okay, so like that, again the grade. So grade, I am taking the inputs and I have put it the condition grade greater than equal to 19. Your grade is A plus. Grade is greater than equal to 80. Your grade is A. Grade greater than 70. Your grade is B plus. So like that. So which condition will true, that message will display. That's it. If I will compile this, so I have given this grade 90. What happened? Your grade is A plus. So which block is going to execute here? This block. Okay. If I will execute here, so now I have given the 40. Then what happened? All the condition is false. Then else block will execute. Sorry, you are failed. Okay, so this block is going to execute this because all the condition is false, right? I have given grade greater than equal to 90, 50. So it will come this 50, then you are pass only. Apart from this, if you will less than 50, then it is failed. Okay. We have another concept called nested if else. Means one if else is there, inside this another if else statement is there. That is called nested if else. Okay. In general, nested if else statement is used when we want to check the more than one condition. Condition are executed from top to bottom and check each condition whether it evaluates to true or not. If the true, then condition is found. Otherwise, what happened? Block associated, executed. Otherwise, it will go to next condition. So what is the meaning of this? This is your syntax of nested. So this condition is false. Then what happened? This else block will execute. This will not go inside this block. Okay. If this condition will not fall, this condition is not true, then what happened? This else block will execute. Let's see. I have some also not regarding this. So let's see. We'll apply on this. Actually, this condition will false. So what happened? It will execute this. Okay. Let's see. So this is nested if else statement. So we can say again I took this inputs and num greater than 0 and num equal to 0. So if this will execute, okay. So one second. If I will take here 1, okay. So positive number. So positive number means first block is executed, right? This first block is executed because this statement is true. One second. Okay. Okay. So I took this one, right? So this block is executed and this block is not executed. After that this block is executed. Means this all the statement will execute here. One second. Because it is executing from all the statement. That's why I have given one more message here. So if I will take 1. So you can see if block 1 means here will go here So this block is also executed, this block and this block, this is not going to execute. Okay, if you will take another inputs, like I am taking 0, so if what happened now, if you will go in the coding, sometime the it's happened with me also, sometimes we are not able to find the error and we are not able to find the execution flow. What you have to do, you have to display each line. You know, when I am stucking somewhere, what I am going to do for understanding purpose, here I did not give the any statement before. I want to show you this going to execute or not. Yeah, if you are facing the problem with Selenium also, so we have a log4j, then you will get the logs. But if you are doing the testing of the code, like any error you are not able to find, just display after line 4, just display some message. If you will say where my execution is going to, how it is going to execute, then you are able to resolve this, right? So same thing I am also applying here, how this is going to execute. If I will take this 0, then second will execute, but you can see if block 1 is also going to execute. If you have a multiple if, no, it will execute. Okay, so like that this statement is working. So we have another example of this. Okay, so just what you have to do, just comment this line by line, you can execute this. One second, not this one, right? So same example I had discussed now. So same this you can execute in your system and just try to, you know, same example. But in the last example, what I did, I am not using this, I was using only elif statement. Here we are using the nested else statement. Okay, so if I will compile this, I think one statement, one f and else. So if I will give this like 60, so your grade is B. Okay, here it is. So this statement is executed. Okay, I did not print any else here. So what you have to do, just take this print statement and give some false value. Okay, we'll take all the print statement, like I will take here print statement and give the false value, and just write here, you know, print like that. How to check this flow, else one, like that, else one. So take some negative inputs and you can try to execute this. Okay, how this nested else is working. Okay, just do in your side. If you are having any doubt, you let me know. I will also try to explore this. Okay, not a big deal, you can do. I think this code is not working. Okay, this is a code of leap year. So I am also going to try for the like that, if and this. But some issue is coming in this this code, so I will discuss later this. Okay, but this code you can also write in this way also. So here just I am going to apply this or operator, and operator or operator here. Okay, so leap years, like this is your, you know, condition of the leap years. Okay, so I don't know the list of the leap years, something is there, but this condition, if this condition will true, then it is the leap year, otherwise it is not a leap year. Okay, so just this is not like for learning the syntax, and just we are learning the basics how this is working. This is not the enough coding. Okay, 2016 is a leap year. Okay, I found in the list of the leap years. So if you will execute another this 2016, this condition is going to true. Okay, this is divided by this is not equal to, you know, not equal to 0 means, and this is also divided by, you know, 400. So this is, if I will use some another year like 2019, I think this is not a leap year. So you can search on the Google and just learn what is the leap years, so you will get more idea about this. Okay, so this is your else, how it is working. Okay, so use the AND operator in and if statement. So I've been already discussed this AND operator, right? Just I'll show you this AND operator. Okay, so false means 0 and true means 1. A and B, okay, both A and B are true. Okay, so what happened if we will put here 1? Okay, let's execute. A and B are, A is false or B is false or both. Okay, so what happened here? Both condition will true, right? Otherwise it won't be executed. So if I will execute this, so I'm taking 1. Okay, this condition is false because I'm not taking input, right? Because both A and B having the different value. Okay, sorry, I did not take in the input. I thought you can take here input also, input A, okay, false, okay, like that you can give that directly also. You have to take a boolean type. Okay, so both condition is, A and B are not same, right? 1 is true, 1 is false. Okay, let's see what I want to tell you. If I will come now, if I will run this, now the value will come true. I think you are getting now. If you have a both false, okay, we have a both false, then again the statement is true. Okay, so AND means it should be a both condition is, okay, means here is also working with your false. Okay, means this is working as a boolean type, means F means false, false, false. Okay, it is taking the concept of the boolean type. Okay, if you will give the 0 1, so it will take, it will again the condition will false. Only true true, the condition is true. Once again, if you will take true false, it is not taking, means it is completely working on this boolean value here. Boolean concept, digital electronics, so like that this is working. Okay, you can explore, just change this value and you can explore yourself. Okay, no problem. Define a negative if. Okay, so we are also going to apply with the not operator. Okay, so if a condition is true, then not operator is used to reverse logic state. Okay, let's see this example. What is the meaning of this? Okay, what is the value? I missed this. Okay, x is there, right? Okay, so what is the use of not operator? Okay, so just going to print this. This is completely working on, in the last session I had discussed not operator and operator. So that concept, if I will give this 50 value, so the value of x is equal to 50. Okay, so this not operator, once again, the value of x is different from 15. The value of x is equal to 15, because if the true value, we have a true value, it makes the false. So that's why this block is going to execute. Okay, so that this is the job of not operator. So if I will give this, 60, so you can see the value of x different from the 60. So which block is going to execute? Now this condition will true, right? Because it is made as the value of x, different from 50. not means it is the vice versa of true. If it is the true, the match is false. That's it. Okay. So how this not and on operator will work with FL statement, this thing I have mentioned. Okay. So next concept is called loop concept. So a loop is a sequence of instruction that is continuously repeat until the certain condition is reached, right? Loop we have already discussed in the different language. So same thing I am going to apply here. Here the do while loop is not recommended to use. In the Java, in the another language, we are going to use frequently, but here the do while loop is not recommended to use. All the loops we are going to use. Here break and continue, okay, we will use. Okay, loop condition is there. Okay, so we have a for loop, while loop, this is not recommended to use. We have a nested loop also. So we have a syntax of for loop, how this for loop is working. So for loop we have a variable name, for loop variable name in, and this is your sequence, and this is your column, double column. Inside this we have a statement. Okay, I think we have already used this. Okay, so this is your syntax of the for loop. Okay, this is your statement, and this is you can take the statement, and you can both syntax are same, not just we have written the different thing. So just I will compare this for loop. So for loop is completely syntax is the different from the another language. So here I took one variable, right? Variable, and this is only list, right? You can see, just I will come on this down, we will compare with this syntax. So for loop, so I am giving here for loop here. Okay, this for loop. So variable name, so you can take any variable name, you can take I, no problem. This is your variable name. Okay, this is your variable name. In operator, so in operator we have to take, so in will check the the value is available or not. Here the sequence or where how many, it will check the condition of your element sequence. So in this sequence means just I will go through this. So sequence, it will execute how many value is available in the list. So it will, I have given this sequence, this list is we have a stored inside this variable. So a loop will go like this, will iterate like that. Okay, 0, okay, it will go 0, 1, 2, 3 till this length of this list, it will execute. That's it. Okay, so just it is going to iterate, and one by one we are going to display this value. So whatever the sequence you have given, sequence means you have taken some range or you have taken some list of the value, set of the value. So it will iterate like that, it will iterate last of the value. Okay, so if we will compare with this syntax and this example. Okay, that's it. Okay, so same thing, just I took here number only, but same example is same, it's not completely different. Just I took this number, that's it. So you can see I took again different variable, it will iterate list of this element. That's it. If you will compile this, so for loop and data structure you will get lots of the example on the Google. Okay, so do the practice on the Google. So just same, I am just exploring this. Okay, so here I took like list, only list is there, but I am changing the data types and variable for you not to confuse this. So I took only a string type here, right? Language, so I took all the language and just I am going to iterate. You can see I took again different variable, because variable you can take anything and it will iterate your size of the list. That's it. If I will run this, the same value will display. That's it. Okay, so we are getting to print this. Okay, that's it, not a big deal, but in the logic we have to do this. So how to do the sum of this? We have this list. I want to print the sum of all this number. So here what you can take, like I took this hard coded here number, then you can take as a inputs as your numbers. So here you can use the input function. So by using the input function you can take your numbers. Okay, so I took this list and I took one variable, and variable is a sum variable. I declare at 0. I'm going to iterate 1, this, right? It will go till number, and again what happened, it will go 1, here the value is 0, again 1, again what will happen, 1 plus 3, again what will happen, again it will like that, it will go and it will iterate all, and here just all the variable plus sum, it will give the addition of all these numbers. Okay, so this is your basics of the logical. So you will get in the Google, you will search on this, or any logical programming, just you can try inside this Python. We had doing the same whatever the learn in the Java logical, just I am going to try to do in the Python. Okay, so just we have to remember the syntax, because the logic is same, right? So same thing, like in the 4 I have also used how to find the greatest number here. Okay, so in how to develop this logic, we have a for loop, we have a if else statements, elif statements. So like that only we can do. So I use this for loop here, I am iterating here, and what I have given one condition, num greater than 40, then it is the greater than 40 only it will execute, right? So same thing, you can explore yourself. We should know the syntax, how it is working, that's it. Okay, what happened? Okay, so today I am stopping the session here. I think my system is stuck.